Hey everyone, Rainbow Warrior here, and I'm going to show you how to make these simple bauble ornaments. It's very easy to make, and I think that these would make a great gift. So I'm going to show you what you need, and let's get started. For your materials, you're going to need yarn of your choosing. I'm using Red Heart Super Saver just because I have it in all the colors. You're also going to need a crochet hook. I'm using size G. And you're going to need scissors and a tapestry needle to fasten your ends in, as well as something to fill or stuff your balls with. So I'm using fiber fill, but you can use any stuffing that you want. Oh, and definitely a stitch marker. Normally you can get away without this, but for this pattern you're definitely going to need one to keep track of your rows and your stitches. We're going to begin with whatever color yarn you want to start with, and we're going to use the magic ring method. If you've never done this method before, I highly suggest learning. I use it for all my projects in the round. So what you do is you simply loop your yarn like so, as if to make a slip knot, and then pull up on the yarn in the middle, chain one to secure, and now you have an adjustable ring. And if you need more assistance with this step, be sure to check out many of the great tutorials that they have on YouTube for the magic ring method. Alright, so now we're going to do 6 single crochets into that magic ring for round 1. So starting off with 6 stitches, alright, now pull your circle closed so it's nice and tight. And we're not going to slip to join or chain from here on out because we want a nice continual round. We're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch, giving us a total of 12 stitches for round 2. And I am placing my tail over my hook to lock it in. I do this for all of my projects, but it's especially important to do for Amigurumi because you're not going to be able to sew in your tail at the end. So locking it in here is very important, and once you get to the end you can just leave it on the inside of your ball because you won't be able to see it. And now that I have all 12, I'm going to place my stitch marker. I'm simply using a paper clip, and I'm putting it in my last stitch, so from here on out I'll be able to know where my rows end. And we're going to do 2 single crochets in that first stitch and 1 single crochet in the next stitch, all the way around, giving us a total of 18 stitches for round 3. Alright, crocheting into my last stitch there, and now I'm going to move my stitch marker. And for round 4, we're going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch, one in the next stitch, and 1 in the next. Repeat this all the way around, giving you a total of 24 stitches for round 4. So on row 5, we're simply going to single crochet in each stitch, and we're doing this for rows 5 through 9. Okay, and I've done all my rows. I'm on row 10, and we're going to start our decreases. We're going to decrease the same way we increased. It's really important that you use my method of decrease so that you can't see it. So I am using what's called the invisible decrease method. So we're going to do the invisible decrease in the first 2 stitches, then we're going to do a single crochet in the next, and a single crochet in the next. and repeat. So let me show you what that invisible decrease looks like. You go through the front loop of your first stitch, angle your hook to go through the second front loop of the next stitch, pull through a loop, and then pull through another loop. So it's really easy, and I'm amazed at how much you cannot see this decrease. I thought you were going to be able to kind of see it, but you really can't see it at all. It really is invisible. So put the hook through the front loop only, and then through the front loop of the next stitch as well. Pull through a loop. And pull through another loop. Alright, row 11, we're going to do our invisible decrease in the first 2 stitches. And then single crochet in the next stitch. And repeat all the way around. Alright, so we can see our openings getting a little small, and some people I think wait till the end to add their stuffing, but I don't like to do that. So I'm going to add now because I like to use my fingers if I can. So I'm just using fiberfill. I have a really big bag. I couldn't even show it on screen, and I got it for very cheap. It's very inexpensive. So you're simply just going to rip off some fill. And again, my hole is big enough to use my fingers to start off with, but you're also going to need like the end of a pencil to help shove in your fill on the sides. So I'm moving my hook and my place marker so they don't get in the way. And I'm just stuffing it in there. And here you can see I use my pencil to get that nice on the side so it's nice and full and not squishy. And it can be tricky figuring out how much you need. You definitely don't want to understuff or overstuff. So just play with it and keep feeling until it feels nice and secure. And our last round, this is round 12. We're going to do our invisible decrease in the first 2 stitches and repeat all the way around. Alright, time to sew up our ends. So cut a medium length tail. You don't need it to be too long. And pull through your last loop. Now it's time to sew up that hole, and there's a specific way to do this so that our ball is nice and secure. So thread your tapestry needle, and now we're going to go into that first stitch, the front loop only, so the loop closest to us. I have 6 stitches there, and we're going to go in back to front, so towards us. And that's what happens when your tail's a little long, you have to pull it through. And we're going to do this all the way around, so front loop only, and going in towards the back, and pulling towards us. So make sure you do this for all 6 of those stitches on top. Alright, going through my last loop here. And now we're going to pull tight to close off that hole. Alright, and then we do have a little bump, but that's okay because we fix it. You're going to keep your tapestry needle on your tail, and you're going to go right into that hole, and you're going to come out of your ornament in another spot. And if you want even more security, you can repeat this process. You can take your tail and go in one more time and come out in another spot. but I'm simply going to pull that tail tight and cut it close to the ornament and then squish it around so it stays in. And your ball is nice and secure and it looks great. It's the same at the top and at the bottom, and it's not too full and it's not too empty. Just right. So now it's time to add our little ornament topper so that we can hang it on our tree. Okay, I'm using a golden yarn for my topper, and here you can see what I want mine to look like. Pretty simple, and it's really easy to do. Alright, we're going to start with another adjustable loop. Chain 1 to secure. And now we're going to do 6 single crochets in our loop. Alright, and now for our second round, we're simply going to go through the back loop only, so the loop that's furthest away from us. We're just going to single crochet in each stitch just to give it a little 3D shape. We're going to do that all the way around. And I'm locking my tail in as well. Alright, I went all the way around, and I'm just going to slip stitch to join and push that out there so I have just a little nub that looks just like that. Cut a decent length tail, pull through your last stitch. Alright, and now we are going to attach this to the top of our ornament. So thread your tapestry needle, and I'm going to place mine on top just to see where I'm going to be securing it, what is matching up with what. And we're going to use an invisible seam stitch, which is really easy to do. We're going to start by going into the ball directly where your yarn is. So as you can see, and I'm going to come out where the next stitch lines up. So just like that, coming in and out, pulling through. And now we're going to go from the bottom to the top of our stitch. Just like that. Great. Now we're going to go back into the ball, right where we came out of before. We're going to insert our tapestry needle there and come out right where our next stitch lies. And again, go through that stitch now from the bottom to the top. And you want to do this all the way around, securing each stitch to your ball. Very simple to do. Just make sure that you're placing your item just where you want it. Alrighty, I've went all the way around and my little topper is nice and secure. I want to make a tie so that it can hang on the Christmas tree. So I'm just simply going into my topper and coming up the top so that my yarn is now on the outside. And now I'm going to go right back in to where I just came out. And then I'm going to come out with the ball in another spot. However, this time I'm going to hold on to my yarn there at the top because you don't want to pull it all the way through. You want to leave a loop so that it'll hang on your tree. And of course you could buy hooks or any kind of decor you'd want, but I prefer using all yarn for this project. And there you can see it's perfect. Perfect length. Simply, again, cut your tail close to the ball and squish it up in there so that it's nice and secure. And I did have my friend test the top. He was trying to pull it apart, which kind of horrified me, but I was glad to see that the topper did not fall off. So. Alright, and you can make these in any colors. In this tutorial I made solid colors, so I made white, red, and green. However, in an upcoming video I'm going to show you how to do some different color changes so you can add some spots or stripes or any kind of decoration to your ornaments. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this pattern. You can find all the information you need in the links down below. Be sure to subscribe for more tutorials and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.